Hello and welcome back to Everyday Privacy. For this episode, we will be talking about certifications. I'm sure that as a privacy professional, you have already heard about the issue of certifications. In the Philippines, we have several certifications available. Examples of this are, of course, the DPOA certification that is being offered by the National Privacy Commission itself. There is also the TUV Rhineland Training and Certification Program. Finally, there is the IAPP certification, which is offered by the International Association of Privacy Professionals. As you may know, the IAPP is the only global organization of privacy professionals. What is an IAPP certification? The IAPP offers three major types of certifications. One is certification on laws and regulations. This is the CIPP, which is the Certified Information Privacy Professional certification. This has the following variants. There is the CIPPE for Europe. There is the CIPP-C for Canada, the CIPP-A for Asia, and the CIPP-US for the United States. Aside from that, the IAPP also offers certification in operations, and this is the Certified Information Privacy Manager. Finally, there is the CIPT, which is the Certified Information Privacy Technologist, which is focused on technology. So I'm sure that the next question you will ask is, how does one get certified? For now, I will be focusing on certification process of the IAPP. So the next question is, how does one get certified? To get an IAPP certification, you will have to take the IAPP certification exam. There are two ways by which you can get the certification exam. The first option is in-person examination, which you can take from any one of the 6,000 accredited testing centers of the IAPP. Recently, with the pandemic, the IAPP decided to offer at-home certification exams. So as the name suggests, this means that you will be able to take your certification exams at home and online. There will be a proctor provided by the IAPP, and you will be required to find a space where there is no one else there and where you can take the examination without any distraction. So how much does an IAPP certification exam cost? The examination itself costs $550. However, if you already have an existing IAPP certification, you will be entitled to the discount offered by IAPP. Thus, you can take your subsequent exams for only $375. Okay, the second question would be training. So how much does training cost? The expense will depend on the method that you choose in order to prepare for your certification exam. If you choose the option of just reading the IAPP books to prepare for the exam, your cost can be as low as $65, which is the cost of one IAPP textbook. So there are several textbooks that have been issued by the IAPP, and these textbooks actually pertain to specific exams that they also offer. For the CIPM exam, which is what I initially took, I was given two textbooks, so that would cost around $130. Okay, the other option would be to take the online training that is offered by the IAPP. The online training costs $1,195. If you opt for a training bundle, which the IAPP also offers, then you can get training for two IAPP exams for the price of about $2,000. There are, of course, other organizations aside from the IAPP that will offer either online or in-person training. I suggest that you Google or go to Facebook to look for available IAPP exam trainings in your area. So the next question is, what happens after you get certified? Well, when you pass the IAPP exam, you will get a free IAPP membership for 1 year. After the first year, you can choose to continue your IAPP membership by paying $275. However, for certain sectors, such as government or nonprofits, or for those students, you can get your IAPP membership for only $100. The IAPP membership is actually optional. What you will be required to have, however, in order to maintain your IAPP certification is to earn Continuing Privacy Education or CPE units. So for each term, which is equivalent to a 2-year period, you will be required to earn 20 CPE units for each of your IAPP certification. So what this means is that if you have 2 IAPP certifications, then you will have to earn 40 CPE credits every 2 years. For those without IAPP memberships, you will also need to pay a certification management fee of $250 for each term. So this means that the CMF will last you for 2 years. However, if you already have your IAPP membership, the CMF is actually already embedded in your membership and you do not have to pay separately for it. So what happens when you fail to earn your CPE units, or you do not have your IAPP membership, or you do not pay your CMF? What happens is that your certification will be on a suspended status, and this also means that you will not be able to use your certification as part, for example, of your CV or as part of your personal marketing activities. Okay, so now that we've discussed the IAPP certifications, we come to the most important question. Should you get an IAPP certification? I think that the answer will depend on your purpose for getting a certification. Do you need to be certified to do a good job as a privacy professional? The answer is no. In my opinion, in order to do a good job, you only need the following. One is exposure, in the sense that you have enough knowledge of the field. This means that you are familiar with the laws. In the case of the Philippines, it's the Data Privacy Act, the issuances of the regulatory authority, and that you also immerse yourself in reading materials, research, news, and other updates on the privacy field, as well as the best practices on privacy and data protection locally and globally. Next is you will need experience. It will help you a lot in doing your job if you already have an experience as a privacy professional. This means either that you're working directly in the privacy field, or that your current job requires you to interact with privacy professionals and comply with some aspects of privacy regulations. And finally, you will also need enterprise thinking. So what do I mean about this? Privacy practice is not confined to the practice of privacy per se. You will actually need to learn about the operations of your company, the lines of business that you go into, the privacy trends, as well as the privacy standards, both the current as well as the emerging issues in privacy, and be able to apply this in your organization. All of these 3 E's will enable you to do a good job even if you don't have a certification. There are, however, instances when a certification will be very valuable. So one is when you're trying to get a job as a privacy professional, or when you're trying to shift careers into privacy. This is especially important if you have had no previous interaction with the people in the organization that you're applying into. So a certification will signal to them that at the very least, you know what you're talking about. Of course, it's an altogether different question whether you can actually do the job. And that is something that they will find out when they finally hire you. Second is when you're working as a consultant, as a professional speaker on privacy, or when you are providing privacy training. Certification will give them an idea of the extent of your expertise, as well as lend credibility on your expertise. So I hope that today's episode has given you enough initial information on certifications, and I hope that this will also help you decide whether certification is something that is worth spending money, time, and effort on. Thank you for joining me for this episode, and I hope that you subscribe so that you don't miss future episodes of Everyday Privacy. If you found this episode useful, I also hope that you will pass along this link or share this with your friends or with your colleagues. So until the next episode, thank you again for joining me on Everyday Privacy. Bye-bye!